Hey family, welcome back. Today we are discussing sleep paralysis. I have already did a part one sleep paralysis where I introduced the topic and I discuss the incubus and succubus spirits or experience that happens during sleep paralysis. If that is interesting to you, then please go to my description box. That video is going to be linked there. It's really good information. It's going to help you to bring knowledge, understanding, and just give you the words to explain what you've been going through. But in this video, I want to go a little more in depth about what sleep paralysis is because there's not a lot of good information that I feel is coming from uh, Christians or biblical understandings. I feel like sleep paralysis gets really spiritual. People are experiencing it and having a lot of spiritual things that happen during that time. And so it really easily goes into like spiritualism. So let's just start out this video by saying sleep paralysis within itself is not a demonic or spiritual thing. At the very minimum, it's your body transitioning into a deeper sleep cycle, and you can do that and not have a spiritual experience. I've had sleep paralysis where I knew my body had, I was so tired and I laid there and I knew I was like not in a full deep sleep. I didn't like try to move or get up or anything. It wasn't alarming. I just knew I wasn't in a full deep sleep. And I just waited it out until my mind caught up and I went to sleep. There was nothing scary about it. There was nothing demonic about it. It was just a natural and gradual progression into being asleep. Same as waking up. I couldn't all the way wake up, so it was just like a natural progression of waking up. Nothing eventful, right? A lot of people probably experience it that way and it's not a big deal. But then there is a percentage of people that experience it and they experience the fear and the terror that's associated with it. So why is there so much fear and so much terror associated with sleep paralysis? Well, number one, it's because you get afraid because you feel like something is holding you down. You feel a presence in the room. During that sleep paralysis state, the body can feel like pins and needles are in it, like in your limbs and extremities. You can feel hot and cold sensations. You can feel electrical impulses or shocks through your body. And that's really alarming. That's not typical. That's not something that people that are just having, a sleep paralysis experience that is, typical would experience. So that's why people get scared, because they're feeling these strange sensations. Then there's auditory. You could hear things. So you can hear people talking, people calling your name, voices talking to you. That's the auditory part of it. Again, that's very alarming. That can cause fear, heightened fear in people. And you put that together with not being able to move or not being able to wake up, it's really just a tormenting experience. But then there's even deeper levels of this, deeper deception in this sleep paralysis state. So there are shadow figures. So like I told you, you can open your eyes in a room, you can see your room. And so when you open your eyes, there are shadow figures that will present themselves. They'll be floating around your room. They take different. They take on different. They take on different shapes. They take on different creature-like beings. They can look like people. They'll stand at the foot of your bed. And that's when it gets wicked, you guys. It gets really wicked because those creatures, they'll pretend like they're good. They'll just present themselves to you. And this is where it's different for each person, because when you see this experience, the average person is intrigued. Like, I remember when I first started experiencing these things, I was intrigued. Like, what is this standing at my bed? Like, what is this, you know? But I never tried to go deeper and like communicate with it. I never tried to talk to them. There are some people that do things to get into sleep paralysis. They try to get into lucid dream, and they try to get into that state because they're trying to collect hidden knowledge. It's very real, getting into that state and talking to these beings. I personally do believe that that is the state where people get quote unquote abducted by aliens. I think that it's spiritual beings, because like I told you, those beings can take on any shape, they can take on any form, they can look like different things. And I know that this video sounds out there. I don't usually like get in depth and talk about this kind of stuff because I know what it sounds like. I know it's like, it's next level. It's like past sci-fi, because this is a real experience. This is something that people truly see and people go through. I know because I have been through it. And so I know it sounds crazy, but I want to put this information out there because if you're going through it, I want you to know that God is with you. And I want you to know that you can pray and have authority over that. You don't have to start going down a path of seeking that, because a lot of times these sleep paralysis experiences open the door to spiritualism, new age, seeking after spiritual guides. So those shadow figures, those are what people are calling their spiritual guides. So you have to really, really be careful. The shadow figures, they'll pretend to be good. They'll pretend to be nice, but they will expose their true intention towards you. So for me, when I started seeing those things, they would just present themselves. But because I am a believer, I trust in Jesus, I never tried to make contact with them. I never tried to go down into that realm of spirituality. I would war in the spirit. I would pray. I would rebuke the enemy. I would read my Bible and pray. And over time, those beings, they showed themselves to be evil. And so that's why I'm making this video, because I don't want you guys to be deceived. A lot of people are in New Age. A lot of people are in spiritualism. A lot of people are proclaiming to be like witches and warlocks, and they're dealing in that spiritual realm, that sleep paralysis realm, and they're seeking after spirits and stuff. And so I just really want you guys to be careful, and to understand that it's more than a dream. It's really spiritual, and those things are evil, and they can cause a lot of negative experiences in your life if you let them. And so another thing that you have to be aware of within sleep paralysis is that when these experiences happen, it's like I said, it's tormenting. It disturbs your sleep. it torments you. And during the day, you'll notice you'll be more tired, you'll be more irritable, you will be more afraid and paranoid during your waking hours. I believe that when people have those type of sleep disturbances, that they also lead to mental health issues if you don't get it under control, because it goes from something that's happening to you at night to disturbing you while you're awake, while you're trying to go about your day. It's like the mind gets captivated in those dreams of what you saw and what happened. And sometimes it's really hard to distinguish the reality from the dream. And so I absolutely believe that there is a strong correlation to mental health breakdown and these episodes of sleep paralysis, and even people that know how to get themselves into that sleep realm, that lucid dream, and that meditative state. So let's take it a little bit deeper, because I've heard people talk about this is the astral realm, and this is the astral and all that. That's what the new age people call it. And in this realm, this is where people will try to do things like astral projecting and stuff like that. Part of the sleep paralysis dream cycles is when you get into it, you feel like you're waking up, but you're still in that dream cycle. So you would dream that you woke up, that you're in your room or your house and you're doing things, and it's hard to distinguish, am I sleeping or am I awake, because it feels like you're awake. And so that's another type of sleep paralysis dream state that will cause people to seek after that type of power, like that astral projecting and all that kind of stuff. So I just want you guys to be wary of it, especially you guys that have kids or teenagers. I really recommend that you talk to your kids about what they're dreaming and what they're experiencing, because you don't want to leave these type of spiritual experiences unchecked, without praying for your kids, rebuking the enemy. You really need to close these doors, because these type of sleep paralysis spiritual experiences, they really lead people into like occult, new age, demonic spiritualism. And so I just wanted to come on here and explain to you how sleep paralysis gets spiritual. Another thing just to add, there's a lot of people that have gotten information from that realm, and it's counterfeit. It didn't come from the Lord. It came from these spirits that are in that realm. And so basically they took information from that and brought it into, their waking life. And so that's very, very dangerous. You don't want to do that. You definitely want to pray over people, kids, whoever you know that's going through those type of experiences. You want to definitely be praying over them, supporting them. And I just want to tell you all that those type of experiences go away, because we have authority in Christ. We are God's children, and he will not allow the enemy to overtake us. When I went through those experiences, it was a few years. I wouldn't say every night it happened, but it was, over like a season of time. And I just kept praying and giving it to the Lord. I kept standing on the scripture. And in the next video, I'm going to give you the scriptures to stand on, because you're going to have to really pray against the spirit of fear. You're going to have to know that the Lord gives you a good night rest. That's what he gives to his children. It's not of the Lord for you to be afraid of the terror by night. And basically these are night terrors, because a lot of people, they're afraid the next day. I know for me, when I experienced it, I remember sitting in my living room and I was fine all day until the sun started going down, and it was sunset, and I looked out the window and I just felt this feeling of despair, like, oh, I don't want to go through this again at night. I think this is a good place to stop. I also want to talk to you guys about what can trigger sleep paralysis, because there are certain things that we go through that triggers it in our life. So if this video is helpful, please share it. I know this is a very niche topic, but it's very important that we discuss it as believers and that we put what God says about it out. Because if we don't, people are going to go and seek after knowledge. They're going to go to spiritualists. They're going to go to psychics. They're going to go into ungodly realms. And we don't want that. So you all take care until next time. Y'all be blessed.